looks like a parabola. And so when you have, guess what this minus 1 would do to it?
Make it drop down 1.
It goes down 1, and so it's like starts at 0, -1, and it looks like this. Okay, here's the thing on this one. Where is this function less than 0 at?
Under the y.
Well, yes.
0, negative,
when,
that whole area there.
When the x values are between -1 and 1.
I got it right. Why?
Because if you plug in like x equals 0.5 or something, you should get a negative y value, a negative value. Or negative 0.5. You should
Oh,
get.
wait, okay.
Or,
you have to look at the picture to tell.
yeah. Well, we're not really doing this picture stuff today, but the picture kind of shows you why this works. And if it had said, what makes it greater than 0? The x values that are less than, like if I plug in x is -2, the function value is positive. If I plug in -2 here, it's positive. So all the x values less than -1 would work, or
Greater than 1.
all these x values out here. Like if I plug in x is 2, I should expect to get something positive. That's why it's up. So all the x values greater than 1. So our answers, even though we're not really graphing, our answers will look like this or this. And that's where it comes from. And they want it to show it on the number line, like if the answers were from -1 to 1, you know, you could graph it like this. Because all the numbers, x values from -1 to 1 make the graph equal negative. All right, it's okay if that only kind of makes sense. We don't really need all of it. But
that's in Mr. Cicino's class, and that's that one movie that he showed us during chapel last year.
Oh, that like boat?
Yeah.
is it the girl who like tried to sail around the world?
Yes.
Or was it around the world?
Australia.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was around the. Or it was like. Yeah, I think it was around.
I think so. How do you remember that?
I remember.
Yeah, that was random.
No, like how do you
I remember
how
the
do you
video.
know every night?
I just remember from chapel last year.
No, you watched it last night. Don't lie.
As Timothy's celebrity crush.
That is crazy.
Are you okay with that?
He wishes that was in the movie.
Not very good line.
I just
Maybe you should start talking with an Australian accent.
I was just
Hey, mate.
Come on, again.
Oh no.
The condensation.
All right. So basically, here's the pattern. If it's supposed to be less than 0, that was our first example. It's going to be between the two numbers. If I was solving this, what makes this equal 0?
2 and negative 3.
2 and negative 3.
Okay. You kind of want the order to be. Look at that. The order matters now. But if it's a less than, then x is going to be between these two numbers. So we're going to write our answer like this. It's not that bad of an assignment, really. If it's a less than, it's going to be between the two. And if it's a greater than,
It's going to be or.
it's going to be or. So it's going to be smaller than the small one or bigger than the big one. Smaller, less than the small one or greater than the big one. Smaller than the small one.
But that's if it's greater.
If it's greater than.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually not too bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, so on number 1, so what are the two x values that make it equal 0? -1 and 2. If it's a less than, how's it going to set up?
In between.
In between.
Is less than.
Okay. It's the A. It's
Okay.
what it is.
So, yeah, which graph matches that?
Oh, we're writing the letters.
Yeah.
You stink.
Oh, do we do it?
You're not Australian.
Dad.
Do we just
from
from
A?
Yeah. I'm gonna start talking in Spanish. I can't even get close to Australian.
Okay,
We just
Number 3. What are the two zeros? Positive 1 and negative 2. It's a less than again. Less than or equal to actually. So the negative 2 should come first because it's smaller.
So the order matters.
Well, it's got to be, if it's between negative 2 and 1, it's got to be bigger than the negative 2 and smaller than the 1, right? Yeah, the order matters.
Oh, yeah.
If you wrote it like this, this is
That
not,
doesn't make sense.
it's nonsense,
I have
yeah.
a question. It's actually like, where did it's algebra?
Get the what from?
That's one of the options.
Oh, you have to look at the graph and see which one matches. So,
Hey, we just had this conversation.
You pulled your head out of your tail.
I didn't really, oh, you weren't even on the right
Yeah, I get it
page.
now. I'm good
Okay.
now. We're good.
He does not get it.
So which graph is between negative 2 and 1 and included? F is correct.
Can we just Whitley control your dog?
Dog?
Don't say that, that's not appropriate. Okay, on number 5, what are the two zeros?
-1 and +2.
Okay.
And it's between two.
Are all the odds less than?
He didn't even realize what he just said.
Okay, the last one is a greater than. Okay, so on 5, it's between again, so it's a lot like number 3. So which one is that?
That's not what I was going for, but I'll take it. E.
B.
Okay, number 7 is a greater than. So the two zeros are 1 and negative 2, the two x values that make it equal 0. But if it's greater than, how does this set up?
He doesn't.
It's smaller. Is it less than or less than or equal to? It's smaller than the small one
And bigger.
or bigger than the bigger one.
Again, it sounds like we're right. Smaller than the small. Can you please just stop talking? You shut up.
This is like when Emily was coughing a couple weeks ago.
Dude, that was
Yeah,
so
give us a
annoying.
call.
That was
I know.
actually making me so mad.
I'm sorry, I cannot help it. I
Hey,
think
give
Are
us
you
a call.
joking, Skylar? Because that was like you a month ago.
yeah, Skylar. Burn.
Give us a call. I want to know how you're doing.
Burn.
Give us one.
Don't get her going. She'll never
Oh my God,
stop.
if I start coughing, I can't
I like that.
Okay, so which graph matches this?
E.
G.
Is it E?
E. It's G.
It's G. Smaller than negative 2, bigger than 1. So it looks like this.
We only said it 1,000 times.
Wait, we said
Burn.
We actually said E.
Burn. We did.
I said E.
I didn't even say an answer. I know better.
Which burn?
I know better to say an answer. I'm not
The
confident.
only thing you should know what he said, that's all I expect
Okay.
you to say.
On 9 through 14, we are solving and,
Bird which.
well, all of these we're graphing.
Big.
The graphs are easy though. It's not. Okay, what are the two zeros of the function?
+4.
Positive 4 and
-1.
0.
Or -1.
Which?
Okay, if it's greater than, I was like
It's
this one.
Smaller than the small one, bigger than the big one.
Okay, the small one is 0,
Which one is that?
Big one.
the big one is 4.
Oh, we have to write 4.
Okay, then we have to graph it. So put a 0 and a 4.
Aw, we need,
Smaller than 0, greater
This
than
isn't hard, it's just a little.
oh, you.
No, it's not.
I just don't want to do work.
Oh,
Isn't that true?
It's a summary of Emily's problems.
yeah. No, that's not funny. It was not.
It was funny.
No, I just want to mess me up.
It was funny,
Tough, isn't it?
Life is so hard being in life. Yes, it is.
It's so funny. You also think my phone has my last post. Yeah. Did you even like my spam?
Oh, no, I covered it.
What else did I? Yeah.
That video is
No, talk about something to people and I blurted it out.
You want some? Oh yeah.
+1 and
Okay,
0.
Do you guys remember how this factors?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
What is equal to positive?
Y plus 1, Y minus 1.
Yeah, it's a square minus a square. Y minus 1, Y plus 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
He lied.
Which?
so the two y values are 1 and negative 1. And if it's a less than, how does it set up? Less than 0?
It's in between.
In between. So negative 1.
And I'ma love you every night like it's the
Oh my gosh, my ears are bleeding.
Can you sing that?
What?
A 1.
Never heard that song.
You can't say things like that. That's mean.
You're
Insulting people's singing voices.
Like this word today.
Have you never heard that?
What do you mean
It's
He
because
has the voice like that. It's because he says the oral. You know that, right? Listening to it.
Yeah.
Like it's the word living.
Wrong too.
Don't act so surprised.
Oh man, no. But it's like, it's
Life is worth a living.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, what should we do on 13?
You just don't do it. Factor, you have to first. Factor, I don't remember.
Factoring.
I see Joseph.
So, what multiplies into 4 that adds up to negative 5?
1 and 4. 1 and 1 and 4.
Negative.
We had no reaction. Negative 1 and negative 4.
So, what b values are the zeros?
Positive 1 and
Positive 4.
Okay, if it's a less than,
It's in between.
it's in between. So 1 is less than b is less than 4.
We are locked in today, y'all.
Bro, we're actually.
I told you this is not that bad.
I'm not locked in.
It was low key correct, Mr. Jordan.
I've never heard
Mr.
something
Joe would
I've never heard someone say something that's true.
Oh.
Everything he says is not true. Everything is a lie. So all his work is wrong. Oh my gosh.
Do you agree with
So that means even when he has faith in you and thinks you're going to do well in a test, it was a lie.
Yep, that's exactly what that means. You're right on. No, I actually didn't do my test this year. I did give it myself.
Give that to yourself.
Yeah.
You're so humble, you know
I
that.
only made one not B on a test.
You're like the most humble person.
I know, I really am. Yeah.
Okay,
I only did one.
15 is a new section, so what are we gonna have to do on this one?
Subtract the 4x and subtract 45.
Right. Let's bring everything to the left where x squared is still positive. So it's x squared minus 4x.
Minus 45.
Okay, now what?
Now,
We factor
9 and 5. Negative 9.
Okay, 9 and 5, how do we get negative 4 out of that?
Negative 9 and positive 5.
This is not
That's what you were told, Lana.
Okay, and then
It's in between.
the two zeros are 9 and negative 5. Less than is between. Negative 5 would come first.
Yep, you're right.
I thought you just said lies. So would it not be right?
It was not right. I was just doing confidence.
Right.
Just need a little boost.
I want a hole. I hope trash.
Me too. Why would we get cake?
That song is catchy.
Wait, Lisa was singing
It
out
is.
to her house like 2 days ago.
It's
And that was all she was
amazing.
singing. And then it got really shorty.
It was brutal.
And she watched the video. She made me watch the video.
I hope so.
Could you go back up to 11 really quick? I didn't understand how you.
Tonight?
Or like the speaking parts.
I don't know, I think it might be over by 5, but I'd have to check.
Oh.
What's tonight?
We have volleyball tryouts
Yo, mama.
at
Oh.
Madison, so it starts at 6.
6:30.
It starts at 6:30?
Okay.
I thought it was 6.
I thought it was 6:30 to 8.
I need to get new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 and then I look again, and then what about 2, 3, 8?
Okay, it's getting messier.
Oh no.
Of course it is.
Now what should we do?
You gotta get the x's to one side.
Which side should we try to get everything on?
This side, to the left side.
No,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Because x squared is negative over here. So probably the easiest way to fix that is to add it. Weird. But we'd have to subtract the 3.
What is your foot doing up here? Foot to
Okay.
down.
So what's the left side gonna become?
X squared plus 3x.
Squared
Minus 4.
plus 3x.
Minus 4 is next less than 0.
Greater than.
Greater than 0.
Oh, so it's gonna
By the way, if x squared was on the right, we'd have to read the sign backwards. This would be if x squared was over here, this would be like a less than.
Wait, what?
Yep, you're right.
Really?
This would be like x squared is less than 0.
Oh, yeah.
This is the same thing as this.
Yeah. You were just confusing me.
It's probably gonna happen on one of the evens.
Oh no.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
No, actually 19 it happens.
But not on an even?
Right. Xander said 19 isn't you.
I don't know. I didn't look at all of them.
So,
Have you ever seen Xander do a graph?
what adds
Yes.
to negative?
16
Negative?
happens on 16.
Bro, his feet go out.
I've seen him do it.
Xander?
He
Okay.
like trots.
Shh. What multiplies into negative 4 that adds up to 3?
Negative
one.
Negative 4. I mean positive 4.
So what are the zeros?
0.
It's kind of like you might
Positive 1 and negative 4.
Okay, if it's greater than, how does this set up?
In between.
In between.
X
Or
is
statement
less than negative 4.
Smaller than the small one.
bigger than the big one.
What's
Or
the
X is greater
what's
than
the small one?
Negative 4.
Have I been graphing all these? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You should just take off the graphic.
It would really help.
I understand it now. I don't need to do any more with it.
Isn't that the truth, Eli?
Bro, I feel like math assignments give you like 500 of the same thing. I'm like, okay, I understand it. You don't need to have me keep doing it.
Then how come you don't get 100s on every single test?
Yeah, it's not busy work because some people don't understand it.
But if you do, then you should be able to stop. Like if we explain one of them and I know how to do it, then why not keep going?
If you don't do it yourself, it won't be get in your head.
Oh, this is the weird one we were talking about.
Repetition gets in your head
What
better.
did you talk about?
What?
What did you say?
I said I agree with Emily.
Oh.
Uncoincidentally, you're both wrong.
Really? Or you were wrong? What?
No,
He said no.
not
The
possible.
other day I told my mom I'm always right, and she told me that's why I have no friends.
That you're always right or you always have to be right?
I said I'm always right. Because she said something else like, and then she was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I said, yeah, I'm always right. She goes, and that's why you have no friends.
And that's why Whitley's your friend, is because she knows everything you say is wrong. So it's
Okay, what should we do on 19?
subtract 2x squared.
You could, but
Or subtract x plus 6.
subtract x and 6. It's easier to factor.
Whoa, you can't color that.
It's easier to factor if the x squared term is positive.
Facts.
I'll remember.
However, if you're using quadratic formula, it doesn't really matter.
I like the quadratic formula if I'm being completely honest.
On 20, you have to
Negative
use.
b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2.
Yeah, guys, on 20, you have to use quadratic formula. It does not.
Dang it!
It does not factor.
Where'd it go?
Negative x square root of.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that might be
X is equal to negative b.
That's so
Minus
nice.
square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Okay,
The only thing I learned of that was this, and then over to
what's going to go in the front on this one?
2
Burr.
x and x.
Which?
Okay, shh. What goes in the back? What goes in negative 6?
Positive 6.
Negative 2, negative 3.
Negative 2, positive 3, or positive 3, negative 2. This one,
Oh,
it's gonna need to be positive 3, negative 2, because the outside is negative 4x, the inside is 3x, and that adds up to negative 1x. Alright, let's see if you guys remember, what are the zeros of this
Negative 3 over 2.
Good job, Gianna.
and
You're welcome.
2? Okay,
So on
Less than,
this
so it'd
one,
be negative 3 halves.
is
less
this
than
the one
x.
that's in between or outside?
Oh, it's
Outside.
greater than.
Okay,
Like a Bunsen
you
burner.
kinda have to read it backwards, this is greater than 0, so
correct.
this is like this problem. So it's outside. So x is less than or equal to smaller than the small one,
Bigger than the
Big
big
one.
bigger than the big one.
It's a big.
Bigger than big.
I would like to take a break after this and just sit and chillax.
Just do that.
Son.
Come on.
No, I don't want to do it.
Just do it tonight.
It's so quick and easy. Just do it.
No, it's just weird.
Fuck.
No.